My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Curious Universe, my friend. Today, I wanted to explore with you space of being, like the gift, more than gift. It's like the universe that as your space of being is, and to really take a few moments and for us to just really acknowledge the gift of the space of your being. And you might be like, what are you even talking about, space of being? Like, what is that? Well, you'll notice when you're around certain people that a reoccurring thing perhaps happens. So it could be the space of your being creates relaxation. People are like, I just feel so relaxed around you. I just feel like I could be myself around you. Maybe it's a space of no judgment. And they're like, I'm so silly around you. Or a space of humor. It could be comfort. It could be igniting, energizing. We put so much importance, so much value on what we do, even what we say. The space of your being, that gift of your presence, just being. What if that's like universe is more than anything that you could do or anything you could say? The brain is going to be processing what you do and what you say. But being to being, there's so much more there. So I work with clients. I do one-on-one facilitation. I do group sessions, memberships, live classes, all of this. And a lot of the participants, they will remember kind of like the conversations that we had or things that really popped for them and the awarenesses that they got, right? And what I'm aware of is when we're exploring consciousness together, when we're unlocking limitations, when we're going into new worlds, 90% of everything going on is the energetics that is created by the space of being. The motion is created by just that space of being. You be with someone. This is why animals, okay, so animals are such a great example. Remember I had in high school, love of my life at the time, right? Had broken up with me. And I was just sitting there like so sad. And my dog came over and he just like walked over and just sat in front of me. And that's it. And it just felt better. And then I grabbed him and cuddled him and hugged him. And I felt even greater. But it was just a space of being he was willing to be. You know, babies will pick up on that. If someone is angry or frustrated or has anxiety, like the baby might get fussy. If someone comes and just like their being is expanded, they're relaxed, they're present, the baby will relax, the baby will feel safe. What if our space of being is so much more valuable than we've ever been acknowledged for? and communicated about. How many people have really communicated how much they adore the space of your being? Like I have done my best in my own way to acknowledge my kids being, them just being them, being around, being in my life, being a contribution. And I've done that in different ways. So one of the ways I do it is if they come to any class I'm facilitating, any live class, they don't have to do a single thing. But them just being there, I will pay them money for being. That'd be nice if we could all just get paid for being. I actually do get paid for being, which I'm so grateful for, because that's what I do with my business. Yes, is there verbal processing? Am I giving tools? Are there actions we're taking? Absolutely. There's a lot going on. And like I said, people might not know this, but 90% of what's actually going on is my space of being, my being, acknowledging and engaging with their being to create greater possibilities. Yes. So what greater possibility have you created for someone with your space of being that you have yet to acknowledge? That if you were to acknowledge it, would give you the sense of the beautiful gift that you are. That's like beyond self-love, It's true beyond this reality, self-acknowledgement of being. Dr. Dane here, he's the co-founder of Access Consciousness. If you're new to the show, all these tools, all this magic that we do is all from Access Consciousness. My jam, I love it so much. And he facilitates a class called Symphony of Possibilities. And in this class, it's just amazing. And you go in, and I remember my first class, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I had seen him do it before. And I'd seen a few other people do it, but I didn't really know what's going on. Like, that's not true. I could perceive what was going on, but the doing piece was the part I wasn't very sure about. And so you go up, and it's an energetic technique, the Symphony of Possibilities. So you have a person lying on the table. They usually start face down. You have their back there, and then you just start to manipulate energy with your hands, and you do all this stuff and okay. And so there's a few classes you can take, and one of the most advanced classes, so in SOP, is something called Maestro. And I remember attending Maestro, and he asked us all. So we do sessions, we exchange like every day to practice, right? To kind of become greater at SOP sessions. SOP is short for Symphony of Possibility sessions. And then this one time he's like, okay, so for this session, he's like, I don't want you to do anything. Like, put your hands down, like, don't move. I just want you to be with them. And that session was probably one of the most dynamic sessions I've ever delivered. Because there was no doing. I was just being so present with them and their being. I was engaging on, wow, just, I want to say a multiverse of levels. And it was so beautiful. That was probably when I really started to perceive, when I really started to acknowledge the gift of my being. Because I'm like, if I could just be with someone and that creates a miracle, then what is truly possible? What is truly possible in this world if we were to be with each other? Like, really be with each other. Every conversation, you're being with that person. Every time you go to make a meal, you're being with the food. Every time you go for a walk, you're being with the earth. What would that create? What if you were being with your body? What would that create? What if you're willing to be with you? Yeah. It's kind of relaxing for me. Not sure why, but it's showing up right now as like this kind of relaxing yet energetic, like moving, not still, but relaxing and expanding. Just the gift of being. You being here with me for these moments as we explore a universe of consciousness curiously. Wow, what if that changes the world? What if you just being here with me right now is creating waves of change on this planet? Now, your mind can't comprehend that. And you might be like, girl, you're a little bit crazy. Like, but what if I'm not? What if it's true? What if your being is the valuable product? I'm not saying action's not valuable. Oh my gosh, I could talk about action like forever because I'm someone that appreciates action. But imagine action from being as opposed to from doing. Like truly, well, how I described making dinner, right? I could do it from I'm making dinner because I need to make dinner and I'm doing it and following the steps and doing it. And then I could be with the energetics, the molecular structures of the food I'm preparing, of the heat that's cooking it, the water, of the plate, the utensils, the sauces, the vegetables. What if I was creating that food? I was taking that action from that space of being. Would the food taste better? Would the body absorb more nutrients from it? I think it would. You're going to have to explore. You're going to have to experiment. And you might not even remember what it's like to just be. A lot of us believe that, especially with this world of constant stimuli, right? That it would be really boring to like be with someone because we're often like on our phones while we're talking to someone and maybe we're doing this and maybe we're eating and we're like, it's like this multitasking frenzy of stimuli as though that is being, as though that is the only option. When you're truly being present, you're never bored. You can't be bored in true presence. Yeah. And that doesn't mean multitasking also isn't wonderful. I love it. I do it too. And look at this for you. Look at this possibility right now to really value your very being, to really have those elements of intimacy with it, to have gratitude, to acknowledge it, to honor your space of being, to honor your being, to trust your being, to be vulnerable in being, and to have total allowance for being. Woo! Anything that doesn't allow that, we distrain and create it, please. Or right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all natures, boys, poets, beyonds. That's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you've not heard of that before, go to theclearingstatement.com. You'll find a whole explanation for it, but we just use it here like a magic wand. I'm not going to go into it too much. Being. So what do you already be with others? That is such a gift beyond this reality, beyond what anyone could ever put words to, that you can acknowledge energetically right now. What do you be in creation that you've never acknowledged? What do you be with money? Like your being, not what we do, not what our brain comes in and tells us, and all these personalities, that are the substitute for being. When you clear those out, you have this glorious, phenomenal, infinite being that you are, that you can choose to be with others. And as I'm talking here, what's kind of popping into my head is that some that will hear this will wonder, how do you be? How do you be with someone? Like, how do you even do that? And if you've never had someone be that with you before, it can be confusing. So the way I would describe it, and you could practice this and it will get easier and easier and easier, but kind of observe like animals, like I was talking about, especially like domesticated animals. Like, have you ever watched a horse just be with someone? My favorite is horses and kids. I don't know why. I'll just see them and the horse will just be there. Or dogs just being there with kids or adults or whoever. Observe them when they're being. And then you can ask, how can I be? Not like them. You want to be as you be. Universe, show me the gift of my being that I've been ignoring. Anything that doesn't allow that, we destroy it and create a place where I can talk about all nature's boys, poets, beyonds. Universe, show me what being is for me. For me, my head is usually very quiet when I'm being really present, and I'm really being with someone, and I'm engaging with their being. The only thing that comes into my head, if you will, is awareness of that engagement, the motion that we might be creating, the change and possibilities that are showing up. And just kind of play with this. So try, like, maybe you have a best friend or you have a partner or a kid, and try just going and like sitting next to them like a puppy, like a dog, and don't say anything. Don't even make eye contact. Just sit there and relax and ask, what can I be here that would create a greater possibility? What can I be here that would create a greater possibility? What can I be here that would create a greater possibility? And you don't have to repeat it. In fact, probably don't repeat it, because you're doing something with your mind, right? And just notice what happens. Maybe they might tease you. They might be like, what are you doing? What's going on? Because it's so unfamiliar. You might notice them like, relax, or their body relaxes. They smile in the corner of your eye, you catch them smiling. They might just reach over and hug you. Just try it. And so once you've experimented like doing that with people that you really feel close with and you love, then try it with people that are a little bit more out of reach, like a little people that you don't know that well. maybe even a coworker. And you don't have to do it for long, but when you're talking with them, or they're talking to you, or maybe you're in the, lunchroom, just kind of ask, what can you be with them that would create a greater possibility? And that doesn't mean you can't talk. Talking might show up, right? Smiling might show up. Eye contact might show up. But the first thing is that awareness and acknowledgement of the being. And notice what you notice. Notice, was that interaction different? How did they treat you after? How did they seem to feel after? Are they always trying to talk to you now? Are they always trying to be in your space? People actually love it when you be with them because it is such a gift. Your being is, what if it was one of the most valuable aspects of you? Your being. What if it was a gift worth receiving? Now, there are a lot of people that can't receive. They just can't. And it has nothing to do with you. It does not mean that your gift of being isn't valuable. It's actually maybe so valuable that they can't receive it. Because when they receive your being, remember that change and that possibility we talked about? It's going to do that. It's going to create that change. It's going to create that possibility. They're not willing to have possibility. They're not willing to have change. And they can't receive your being. It doesn't mean that you weren't gifting it. And it doesn't mean that one day it might not. It might. One day, that gift over here, and then years in the future, might actually change something. They'll have no cognitive understanding of it, but their being to being, knows, because you offered them that beautiful gift of you. Thank you for exploring this interesting topic with me. Thank you for your gift of being on this planet. Man, what would the world be like if half of the planet made being is like acknowledged the true value of being? It starts with us. Like, that would be so miraculous. And it takes each of us to acknowledge it. And then we spread that consciousness, So enjoy being today. Enjoy acknowledging the beautiful gift that you are. And thank you for being with me. And thank you for joining me in the Curious Universe, where we break down the structures of reality so you can create your own reality. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?